Hello and welcome to Perspectives. The Sindh Assembly took oath today, which is very important because Sindh is one of those provinces which has seen a lot of turmoil. Sindh in general, Karachi in particular. And while the Assembly was taking oath, people were being killed on the streets of Karachi. All of yesterday and today, people were killed. The target killing, the crime, the law and order situation, the basic discrepancies in the government of Karachi, of Sindh, but the effects of it in Karachi, and the incapability or the lack of interest in curbing these situations has been a stigma for the past 5 years. But now a new era is beginning. New governments are taking their position. And as it's happening in the rest of the country, Sindh is a very crucial and fiery point for this new government. So my question today, what should Sindh and Karachi in particular expect for the next 5 years? And also because the Chief Minister is continuing from the last tenure, which is good because that means he understands the problems, he's got the experience, and he knows exactly where we're coming from. But the question is, can he take us where we need to go? There are obviously arguments, there are obviously issues, and the other most important issue is Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, who feels Karachi was their mandate and they haven't gotten it. So we need to look at that as well. But now that the elections have happened, the government is in place, there's no point arguing and fighting about it. The question is, what next? What do we do now with this government? My guests on the far right, this young student with a style which I think no student of this country can match. Bilawal Khoso. Bilawal, thank you very much for taking time out. Mr. Fahim Zaman, he has been the ex-mayor of Karachi and somebody who understands Karachi very well and also has a clear understanding of the politics of this province. Fahim, thank you very much. Mr. Ahsan Jabbar, representing Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, he did contest for the Provincial Assembly but did not officially win. These are his words, not mine. He said, we did win, I did win, but officially I did not win. I'll let him explain that more. On my left, my dear friend, the Queen Blogger of Pakistan, Ms. Samra Muslim. Samra, thank you very much for being here. And representing Pakistan People's Party, a very dear friend of mine, Kausar Amir. Kausar, thank you very much for being here. Let's just start with you because you seem to have the bat with you and you seem to have the most passionate stance on the city and this province. Please.
Where to start? That's a difficult thing to do right now. After seeing all that has happened over the last, especially since 11 May, how things have happened, how the state machinery has performed, how all the government agencies have performed. It's a very difficult position right now to be in, not because PTI has lost, but because of the hopes of people that have been killed on 11th May. And I wonder if Karachi is ready for another 5 years of turmoil. So I have a lot of grievances in terms of government, ECP not being able to deliver on their commitments, the caretaker government, the ECP, and the other agencies. And well, we have a government taking oath today, and I don't think there's much said or much left to be said for us instead of just hoping for things to be good.
A quick arithmetic. Even if Karachi had been somewhat different and you would have had more seats, Sindh government would still belong to Pakistan People's Party.
Right.
So the hopes would have been quote-unquote killed anyways. So Election Commission did not kill the hopes.
I would not. Well, if you're trying to take away the blame from from ECP and putting it on People's Party, I'm fine with that as well.
No. How does that work? I never said that. I said you would have still not won. But am I right in that arithmetic? Technically, yes. So their claim of the hope of Karachi and Pakistan is a bit sort of bad arithmetic there.
Well, I don't think so, because still, if we would have gotten to the assembly, would have been in opposition, and a good opposition is also very strong requirement for the democracy. The friendly politics that have been played over the years, all these years, has also harmed. Okay. So it's not just about being in the government, it's also being in the parliament and making the right kind of noise, right kind of raising voices. That needs to be done, which we haven't seen in the parliament happening lately, at least not in my life.
Before I go to Kausar for her direct comments, because you said hopes have been killed and Sindh cannot see the kind of turmoil, I'll let Kausar answer that in detail. But Fahim, when you say that opposition needs to be in the assembly, do you agree with that, or do you feel that opposition is opposition and the society is an opposition?
You see, we are talking about parliamentary form of democracy. We're talking about parliament. Do you really want to see some change in this country, in the society? This country will have to make investment in its people.
In the society itself?
I mean, even before 11th May, I was telling my friends in PTI as well. I said, look, the numbers, I mean, you're talking about tsunami. I mean, I'm telling you, except for maybe Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where even a tidal wave will work, the tsunami in current scenario is really not going to deliver the kind of results that you're expecting.
Okay? Or claiming.
Or claiming or expecting at that time, before the election was done. You see, the problem is that, I mean, how do you conduct elections in Karachi? I mean, how do you expect in the given scenario or the current environment of Karachi, do you expect anything different than what came out? Same thing happened last election. Same thing is going to happen in the next one. Until and unless there is a sea change, okay, I mean, you can bring in 10 different election commissions of Pakistan, okay. The society is so fragmented, so fractured, okay. There are forces in play which have no role, or they're quasi electoral system. I mean, it is simply the system, I mean, cannot cater for those. So I keep telling my friends in PTI that please try and make, I mean, you have another 5 years, okay, you can continue to haggle about the results. I mean, it should be, treated as fait accompli. But if you want to see a change, it's lot more is going to happen. A lot more needs to be changed before you actually see changed results.
And that change can still happen even if you're not in the assemblies.
Oh yes,
you can invest in that.
Sure.
Bilawal, have your hopes been killed?
To some extent, yes, because as I said that we need to invest in our people. I think to some extent he is right, because last week some incident happened near the Karsas bridge. There was an oil tanker accident and the guy got killed. So I was there at that time, and I saw people, like, no one was approaching to the guy to help him. People were busy, filling their bottles and whatever they had with oil. And
you're an eyewitness to this.
Yeah, and I was an eyewitness to it. There was actually a lot of ambulances over there who were trying to evacuate the guy, but majority of the people were busy, like, collecting the oil that was being spilled. So, like, that was like a shock to me. I was like stunned for 5-10 minutes, and I was like, we blame our leaders for the kind of things they do, but like, what are we ourselves? Like, we are worse than that, because the reason I think this has happened is that we have not been groomed as a nation, and we have not invested in our public as such, because I see a lot of vacuum in terms of the political upbringing of the society, the civil education of our society. There are a lot of loopholes in our system. So I think instead of crying over what has happened and what went wrong, we should try to fix those things instead of crying over it again and again.
Whose job is it to invest in society? Governments?
Yeah, exactly. The government.
What about parents and ourselves?
See, a kid spends most of his time outside.
Right.
Okay. He goes to school, then he goes to tuition, then he plays outside.
Sure.
He just goes home for meals and sleeping. That's it. Majority of the time he spends outside. So the exposure that he gets outside is much more than what he gets in the home. So, like, if as you said, if the parent has to do his job, then he'll have to, like, do a double job, because a kid is spending most of his time outside.
Okay. Samra, 2 questions. Have your hopes been lost, or do you still have hope that People's Party is back in office? Do you have hope with that? And the investments in society, is it parents are absorbed of this with their core values, collect oil while somebody's dying?
See, now, for example, in terms of hopes, I do not really have any hopes for PTI winning. So, thank you, but I don't have, since I didn't even have those hopes. So, like, this is where we are standing in real terms. If you looked at what was happening with the real people, let's get off social media and just look at where the real Pakistan is, which is out on the streets and everything, and not just on our Facebook and Twitter profiles. So, while PTI must have been winning, sweeping, tidal waves, and all those other things happening on the social media, real Pakistan is what is reflected in the numbers that have come through. 1 or 2 seats here and there, 1 or 2 riggings here and there, all accepted. And then, so that's one thing. It was pretty predominant in the pre-polls that if anyone was actually bothering following them, that this is the kind of results that was going to shape up. And Fahim Saab also said we knew PTI is going to get a chance in KPK, which they did. And so that's kind of like...
So maybe the result is off by 10%, but generally...
Generally, it is what was going to happen. Like, PML-N was inevitably going to come in as the leading party. PPP was going to probably come back in Sindh. So it's kind of like... As expected. No,
so your hopes are exactly where they were.
Yeah, because, hopes need to be built around realistic situations and numbers and realities of the country.
Fair enough.
So... And that's like we're all, at least over here, and resuming majority, is an educated bunch of people who can look at those numbers and forecasts and actually try and build a hope around them. So if you're not doing that, then there's something wrong with your entire hoping system than anything else. So you need to like really take a step back.
If you can just give me a minute, and I'd like to clarify from your, my 2 cents. So what you're saying is there was no rigging that took place across.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
But that did not change the landscape.
So I'll tell you what.
I'll come back to you.
Yeah. So in terms of, I'm just talking about as an average Pakistani, Karachi living person who could read newspapers and all the predictions that were coming out. So no hopes first. To answer your question, number 1. Number 2.
The core values.
And the core values. Core values, I think, is from the day you're born. That's where it comes in. Frankly speaking. So yes, parents have responsibilities. I am who I am because of my parents. They're the first ones.
It's not the government's fault.
No way. Half the time I've not even lived in Pakistan in my early childhood. So no, they didn't. The government was definitely not there when I was taking my first step, or I was given my first feed, or
you were being told what's right and wrong.
No, exactly. So the core values come in from there, and then yes.
An insane number of antidepressants were taken. That was
someone
Karachi or Pakistan?
I think it's Karachi.
It was Karachi. People in Karachi and in Sindh are living, or maybe more in Karachi, are living under this strange feeling of terror. Fear is a simple word now. Now it's terror. You've got government again. I'd like you to address and answer to anyone you want to, but my question is, will this province, the province which is the industrial financial center of this country, Karachi Stock Exchange is still the premium and the prime stock exchange of this country, is this province going to live under absolute turmoil for the next 5 years again? Because the same team. It's between People's Party and MQM to form government. Exact same team.
New speaker.
Exactly. Otherwise, the same team, same group. Should we expect life to become better, or it will continue to become worse as it was 8 weeks ago?
Faisal, I was listening to all of them, and I want to answer slowly gradually to each and every one. First, let me answer your question. See, actually, the thing is that who voted us? The complete public has voted us, right?
Sure.
They love us. They like us to be to govern. They want us to be the part They think that we are the best for this country, for Sindh especially.
Mm-hmm.
So I think no one should have the objection in that, because the 11th May was the what I say is the answer to all the questions which have been asked by so many of them. Second most important thing.
Yeah, but one of the answers is that they don't want you in the country anymore.
No, it's not that. No one said
they just
that.
Want you in the province.
No one wants that. See, actually, the thing is
that. But your federal footprint has been erased.
See, It sometimes it do happen. See, this is it's a challenge, right?
It's happened before.
A lot of reservations we also have, but then again, along with those reservations, we never said that we want an election once again. We never go for that. They say, okay, we have the reservation, but then again, we accept whatever the result is.
Well, we have to move on.
So we have to move forward, and we have to work now. See, the thing is that the best part is that KPK, which has been given to PTI, People's Party is now in Sindh, and in Punjab and in Balochistan is a complete, mixed government. And in Punjab we say it's PML-N. So now every single party has to give the good governance to come to show the public who is the best. And it's better to live in the real world instead of living in the fantasy world. As my brother said before.
In the interest of time, I'd like to repeat my question.
Yep.
The past 5 years, you had the center and the province, and every day, at least Karachi, if not the whole province, became worse than the last day. Now you do not have the center; you have only the province. So now every day will be double as bad as the previous day, or we expect better.
The people, what objection they have on us? Let's talk about that.
Please.
They say they don't want drones. Just let me complete that, and then you can carry on.
It's not an. I just want to clarify. It's not an objection on your party. We, as people, we just want whoever comes. We just want our lives to be better.
I know. I can understand. That's why the people choose one of the political party to come forward.
Sure, okay.
So see what people want. What we have seen is like what objection the other political parties has on us, because they are playing the blame games. No? Public is very much.
Let's not go there.
Okay.
No, we'll lose time.
We now today time. When KPK just let me complete please. Okay. PTI has picked up. PTI is in Parliament today. We have given they have given the one more drone today, and who has promised for not to stop the drone? We never said. So we cried, for 8 months we cried in the assemblies. But then again, the promise has been made by PML-N and KPK. So we are really sorry for that. But now I believe we see forward that whatever the blame games which were on us before, now they should stop that. Second most important thing, if we talk about electricity and energy prices.
If you notice, I'm not even letting him talk.
Let me
complete I'm not even letting him talk.
Talk about Karachi. I am going to talk about Sindh and Karachi as well.
Is every day going to make Sindh a prosperous, beautiful province, or it will become a bigger slum?
In Sindh, you have seen that twice, why we forget over your IDPs,
again,
flood which was there.
You're missing my question.
Sure that I need to take a flood was there. We have made sure that we are exporting a lot of food stuff.
I fully agree. But you're missing my question.
Which has been shown in the public,
I agree.
Public don't know what is right and wrong. We have to show them the real picture.
But 2012 is done. I'm not talking about 2018. See,
now can I make a comment, please?
I need to take a short break, please.
Just 1 minute, Faisal. After 2013, right? Once the elections are there, the people of Pakistan, and especially Sindh, has given the answer. That's what I've said before.
They love you.
That they love us.
We
and they
love
want
you.
Sindh
Everybody loves you, but we need something in return.
So
let's take
we have given a lot of things in return.
A very short break. Staying with us, you're watching Perspectives. We have limited time, so I'd like to request all my guests to be direct, hard, precise in our waiver, but I'm going to give you 1 minute because you asked for a minute. 1 minute.
Which we have already given to the public, First most important thing, gas pipeline, which will finish up with the gas problem.
Number 2.
The second most important thing, we have given Gwadar Port.
Number 3.
And the third most important thing, we are now seriously going to work on this law and order issue, and lot of new things we are going to implement. We are going to bring up. And
that was exactly my question. So is your focus now going to be
of course, that
heavy
is the
duty
first
in the
priority.
Okay. So you were aching to say.
Faisal, it's so difficult for me to sit over here actually, listening to all this, what we've been listening for the last 30 years, forget about 5 minutes and 5 years. The lady just mentioned about drone attack today. She, being a politician much older to me, should be knowing that drones are a problem of federal, not provincial. Now you need to give me some time.
You're in trouble.
You need to give me some time as well to speak
But
right
what
now.
about when National
See, I'll
Assembly,
tell you what.
Imran Khan was the member of it and we allowed that time?
She is trying to put the blame of one day on KPK government, whereas she is not willing to accept their own faults for the last 5 years, where the nation has ended up. I am not a politician. By my family, I don't have any political. Let me. I need to speak, lady. I gave you time to present your opinion, present your viewpoint. And now just give me 2 minutes. I need to.
But Imran Khan was a part of National Assembly when drones were allowed. Why he didn't object at that time?
It doesn't matter.
Why he didn't oppose at that time? Why he didn't resign at that time?
We've all done some strange things in the past.
That is what People's Party and all these politicians have been doing blame games.
That's okay.
And I'm telling you why we are in here in this political scenario is because we have seen things breaking up. We have seen this country on the verge of default.
I need to quickly run out. Before we know it, the time will be over.
Yes.
We know why we are here. We are here. Election has happened. This is now the government. What's everyone's role, expectations, Fahim?
Faisal, I'll just say one thing, that if my government as PTI and as a candidate, if my government had performed this way like the People's Party has done over the last 5 years, I wouldn't be sitting here defending myself. I would be giving my hands to be put in jail actually, of not performing, and not because you have enjoyed all the privileges that the taxpayers' money is basically.
What you say. You have a problem.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So we would walk out of the assemblies if we are not able to deliver, and you would see. God forbid that. I hope that day does not come.
Because he's too young for that. If he's
I wouldn't be there at the job.
I'm sorry for that.
I wouldn't be there at the job.
Let's not go young and old. Fahim, please. Bring some sanity.
Money from outside, and now they are doing all that junk stuff.
It is so sad. It is, for people of Pakistan. For people of Pakistan, it's so sad to listen to our political leadership talk about pipelines, about this, and we are talking about empowerment of people. The thing, when I was talking about investment in people, what's the difference between Indian democracy and Pakistani democracy? India, after the partition, as soon as they became a free country, they brought in
reforms,
land reforms. They demolished the feudal systems. Right. In Pakistan, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto brought in whatever land reforms, you can object to whatever. He brought in, in 1981, Shariat court ruled against it. Today, it is the feudal, it is the establishment, it is the mullah who together keeps this country and its people at bay. If we want to invest in people, we need to bring in genuine reforms. Who cares about a pipeline? I mean, if I see justice, just take Karachi, Karachi. In Karachi, you get the elite neighborhoods get 2 hours and 3 hours max of load shedding. In poorer neighborhoods, 14 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours of load shedding. This is injustice. We don't talk about these things. We talk about what suits us, and that is where, as a common person living in this country, when I look at my leadership haggling in the parliament, haggling about the parliament, it's something that I don't feature. And that is the investment.
Something where the people of Pakistan don't feature.
Yeah, we don't feature.
Very well said. Very well said. Bilawal.
Thank you. I think the biggest issue that the current government should be focusing on is law and order right now. Because see,
that's like tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight. Because see, I don't care.
Yeah.
Or maybe 5 years, or maybe 15 years.
I don't care about the gas pipelines. I don't care about the bijli. I don't care about anything. If my life is not secure, then what's the point of having all those things, all those luxuries? Sure. If I don't know that whether I'll be coming back alive or not when I go outside, then what's the point of having all those things? See, there is a particular mindset in our society who believes that they are above the law. Like they can get away with anything.
Sure.
So I think we need to work on such things that we need to make sure that the justice should be served and the law should be equal for all of us. Like there shouldn't be a particular group of people who should be above the law and who should get away with anything they can just because they have money or they have the resources or they have the powers.
When we say feudal mindset, doesn't mean you have to own a lot of land. It's the mentality. I'm above the law.
Exactly.
It's the way you walk. It's the mannerism.
You know, have gun will travel.
It's not just the elite, or it's not just the people who are living in a certain segment of the society that mindset. Even if you keep on going to
anyway,
it's all over. Like everyone has that gunda mentality. Gunda mentality for their own pocket.
You see that in urban areas. You saw that happening in Karachi as well. That mentality, that ownership, that feudal mentality.
Just one second. Again, being a landowner does not mean feudal.
No, it's not.
Again, it's the same thing. Now, first, most important thing, education, which PTI said we are going to keep with us, and we are going to bring lot of changes in that. Like we are going to bring it more better. We are going to do it more better.
Yeah, but PTI now, not in the government.
Ma'am, why are you talking about the kids? You just said we are kids.
That has been given.
You should be talking about your own performances, not about what PTI is saying or claiming to be. We're not even in the government right now.
Yeah, who cares about that?
Forget about PTI. Give tell what you've been doing for the last 5 years.
Let me just take
my brother.
And how do you think you can do it better now?
Let me take one thing.
If you had government turmoil, right?
If you had government in Sindh,
education has been given to that.
What would you be doing tonight?
First of all, de-weaponization.
How does that work?
Because if we are in the government, we do de-weaponization so that law and order is the first.
But how do you
problem.
De-weaponize? That's another one of those.
You empower your law enforcement agencies
to take away guns from people?
You depoliticize law enforcement agencies.
No, but how do you de-weaponize?
And that's where you give them the authority that okay, you have to take all the weapons out of these elements where these people are misusing.
How does that work? Fahim, is that even logically possible?
Okay. We will control the law and order. Everything is doable. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example.
Who's run the city for a while.
And I think Mayor, if you take the example of, I'll give you an example, and everything is doable in this world. We're not talking about out of this world situations. Manhattan in 1970s and 80s was just like Karachi. And if you would walk into any, I will tell you it was just like Karachi. You would walk into any of the hotels and they would not give you surety that you would not be robbed of your
value. But you had a mob and you had mugging.
Okay.
You did not have 80% of the city's population armed with machine guns.
Not different game altogether. It's not 80% in Karachi as well. So we need to get that comparison.
45%?
Not really. I think probably 20% is the one. Not even 20% actually. Go down to the numbers. If you're talking about a population of 20 million in Karachi,
I think 60% households own at least one gun.
In Dallas, Texas,
and about 30% and about 50% of them are illegal.
I wouldn't like to comment on that because I don't have any statistics. I just wouldn't want to make comments.
Okay,
however,
I interrupted you. Okay,
yes.
With apologies. The reason I interrupted you was just like they make claims which are like mind-boggling. These are also mind-boggling claims. No one, and the reason I keep going to Fahim is somebody who's had charge of the city in much better times.
Sure.
How do you de-weaponize? No, you can only take away legal weapons. Illegal weapons, no one's giving them to you.
What do you mean no one is giving?
How will you take them? You go to house search?
That's the work of the law enforcement agencies.
No, but you will have to issue an order.
Of course.
And that's what we will do. Go into every home and look for illegal weapons.
Of course. And why not? Why is that so unimaginable?
Because it's not possible. I don't think.
Because there is no will.
I think
because there is no will. It is impossible for people who do not have a will. And we have a will, we can do that.
The things which are in the fantasy, People's Party is an institution, and we are having all the seasoned politicians. This is what the difference is. Second most important thing for
not law administrators.
See, we know how to do it. It's not that we
politics,
don't know.
Know how to do what?
For law and order.
Politics.
We are in politics. I am talking about politics, and I think they are also in politics. Otherwise,
I'm here as a public servant.
Administration. 5 years you've had. What are you going to? Okay, I asked him what they will do. I asked you what you will do now.
Today, so many parties are joining hands with each other and going for the political reconciliation. This is our We have started with that.
But how are you solving
Ground-
the
See,
situation?
now how we are going to, like, let's say about law and order situation. See, when we came in, it's not that it started then. It started before us, right?
It doesn't
so
matter.
what happened? Taliban, we never said we want to talk to them, we want to
That's
shake hands
great,
with them.
but what are you
and
gonna do about
the
it?
don't even go
They
down
don't have a
this
plan
the
for it.
garbage bags, yes, definitely. What
let's
are you
do-
going to
let's-
do?
But
Just think
nor
of
do
it.
you.
How can the others
Okay,
can shake hands with them and
Let's-
go on the table and have the
Inshallah,
table talk with
Faisal,
them to
inshallah,
bring
we,
them
over the next few
Awesome, my
months,
friend,
That's
that's
a
not the-
justice
but
with
that's
them.
not the question. Fahim, you want to say something?
Yeah, look, if you want to de-weaponize Karachi or any city, I mean, Karachi is not the first city in the world.
Exactly.
Which, you see, what he was saying, that empower law enforcement agencies.
Agreed.
Okay, that is not, that's not the end of it. Until unless there is a law, there are severe punishments for anybody.
Speedy courts.
Speedy courts, that kind of justice, I'm not for it. Natural course of justice. But anybody caught, or seen brandishing a weapon goes behind bars for 5 years. It happens in now, unfortunately, I have friends in PPP, I have friends in PTI and PML and everywhere,
Sure.
I see all of them riding with double cabins with 8 gunmen in the back.
Yeah.
Who on earth is threatening you? Who are you? Excuse me. The common man who gets killed every day.
Just one minute.
Nobody.
Let me answer him for that.
Let him finish at
560 people of our party,
You were not the
workers
ones who
and party
carry
leaders
double
have
cabin
been
weapons.
killed.
I know
No,
each
the
one.
leaders also.
Yeah.
What
I
about
have
the Bilawal
seen
Sahab
their
of ANC?
pictures.
He was
I have
also
seen
shot dead.
their pictures
What about
in
the Budi
Shaukat
Sahaba,
Gallery.
the Benazir Gupta
MCM
Sahaba?
claims they
He
have
also shot
850.
dead.
No. Please, don't compare.
If you say we don't need that, every single party needs that because we are the workers of the
please
public.
don't
But then
deceive
again,
yourself. You
our
are
life
deceiving
is
yourself.
threatened,
Look, when you carry
Our life
a
is on
double
stake.
cabin or 2 police mobiles with blasting sirens, you actually insulting common man on the street. I'm driving my
don't
car. This guy
I don't think so.
zaps by. I am the common guy. How would you know? I am the common guy.
We are
I'm
common.
telling
We
you,
are
I
not
feel
aliens,
insulted. I want to feel. I actually
We are
feel
also
like
common people.
beating
We are
the
not
shit
aliens.
out of these people who are.
Please,
my
careful with that.
apologies. But
Yeah,
I'm telling you, no. But this is please.
That's a reality.
The political leaders, the members of our parliament. Okay, your job is to legislate.
Sir, can
For
I-
heaven's sake,
I think
please
Imran Khan
do
should
not
stop that,
try to do police job.
Immediately then,
No,
he's also
I'm-
having the big,
Shall I
fine.
give you
I'm going to stop.
And
I'm
plus,
not
not
all
Imran
against
Khan,
giving
most of
you
the
one
leaders
second.
also keep saying yes to it.
Just drive to Bilawal House in
He's
Karachi
saying yes to
and
it.
see the
I
amount
never
of
said yes
money
to
that
it.
they have
One party
spent
or the
on
other.
the security
You're getting
of
all
Bilawal
wrong. You're
House.
getting all
Just
wrong.
one minute, just one minute.
This discussion is getting all
Sir, we need to see the
Kausar,
facts
come-
in order to
If-
correct them.
Just
The lady sitting over here, with all
Okay,
due
let me-
respect, is
okay,
not even trying to see the reality.
have
Forget
convenient-
about
we
I
have
am
convenient-
really, I love to
trying
live
to
in
have
the
the
real
reality.
world. I don't
Spent
like to live in the
38
fantasy or
minutes. We
the fool
convenient
They have
that.
paradise. I'm
spent
sorry.
billions of
Can I ask
rupees.
you a question
Faisal, just one
which
minute.
brings the
Just let
balance?
me answer one.
You do not have sin. KPK
Yes.
is probably
Inshallah, you
more
will see, yes,
out of bounds than
or
Karachi.
equal,
Are
or
we doing
equally
de-weaponization
volatile.
of KPK?
See, law and order situation is the demand of the people. Inshallah, ta'ala, you will see a lot of things happening.
My question is
But-
very direct,
Yes.
and specific.
Right.
You said step 1 for Karachi is
Yes,
de-weaponization.
no.
I'm going very direct. Are we imposing
okay.
de-weaponization of
Okay,
KPK
and
at once?
we need to look at the things in perspective. Do you think that de-weaponization is required in KPK?
Oh,
Do you think if that is required,
Now
are there street crimes happening like Karachi in KPK?
oh my
Oh,
God.
then maybe we should have that number
There
of
are-
weapons in Karachi. to
There
keep
are
the balance.
the dynamics of KPK are different from what
You
is
have to be
happening
the
in
role
Karachi.
model because you are
Okay,
PTI,
Samra,
you
you
are going to
lost.
bring the change and
Would
we
you like to
are
say
And,
something?
and
Yeah?
that's what
You
I'm.
are going
Okay, hang on.
to learn a lot from
Can I
this. That's what you
can I
said,
take
right?
Samra's comment?
Yes.
Samra, you really, I think you.
See, this is the biggest
You have
problem.
something to say, right?
Yeah, I do. Sitting here, this forum is the biggest problem of this country because we have politicians who are actually not listening to the people, and they're just going on with their own drivel. Sorry to use that word, but their own drivel about and rants about things that just do not matter to us. We don't care about the things you're saying, and the solutions that you're presenting will not make any difference because we've seen them, heard them, and doesn't make any difference. frankly speaking. You have the government here, you have the opportunity once again here. God knows who has voted for you, but whoever's voted you in, you have the government.
No, that's an unfair comment. I will have to strike it.
Okay, strike it. Fine, apologies.
They have received KPK, then we can say, God knows who voted for them. People have voted. That is democracy.
I don't know who are those people. I don't know those people, so that's why. But it's not the people of Karachi.
Please, again, you missed what Samra is saying. But this discussion doesn't impress us. We need to listen to what she wants to hear. Please.
Yeah, so my point to both of you politicians out here is very simple. Maybe what you need to do is, like, just take one small learning from this entire conversation and go back, regroup with your own groups and say, why don't we do a focus group like what we do in marketing? I'm a marketing professional by why don't we do a focus group of the real people of Pakistan?
Right.
Your party too, maybe you should do that.
Instead of say the things they want to hear.
Yeah. Instead of just screaming the loudest on television, because I'm sorry, this is not who's screaming the loudest competition happening. Because whoever screams the loudest is going to probably be muted at one point because we don't want to listen to your screams. Frankly speaking, we can.
You want solid answers.
We want solid answers. We don't even want answers. We want
solid
solutions.
action.
We want solutions. We want you not to be sitting in those 20-gun cabin cars. We want you on the streets. You want our respect. You want our votes for next time. You have to earn that respect. Your party, fine, you're not in the mandate, but you still have a constituency that you want to go back after 5 years and ask for votes.
And a claim. They have a claim.
And you have a tall claim as well. So
fair claim. I mean, people did vote out for them.
Yeah, and you have the people in terms of people do want that change. So your marketing tagline change has really worked because that is one thing that we do want as people.
But now we want logic in this.
But now go back.
Is the word right? Logic. We need logic.
We need logic.
Election has happened.
Yeah. I mean, logic need action.
I'm hoping for Sindh. I want you to say, you're going to do this.
Exactly.
There are two things, right?
And
First, most important thing.
With anyone, when you say...
Let me comment and I'll come to you because we've got 4 minutes left, please.
Change will be there, definitely, because now every single party do understand what has been said by them, what has been promised by them. If they are not going to fulfill those promises, no one wants to vote them again. First most important thing.
Parties have realized.
Second most important thing.
The game has changed.
Yeah. Second most important thing, that my brother was talking about that guns and all those things. See, actually the thing is that first, whatever we say, we have to make sure that we should do that. Right? About the weaponization, he says, I think he should go for it in KPK first. He should be the role model. We are going to follow because we are going to be, then going to learn from them. They have to be role models. What has been promised by them, we never promised those. Second most important thing, just let me complete. If you say you don't want any big guns of guns, you don't want the police officers on the bed. See, we say 560 people from our party have been shot dead.
You're better and let me give credence there, please.
See, we see forward. Now we see them forward because they are going to bring the change. That's what they said, right?
Sure.
They say us, we are the same old buddies, what about them? They have to be a little bit different. Second most important thing, if you say something that you want this change, so why Imran Khan has so many escorts with him? Second, and all their leaders, all the leaders who has constituted in the constituencies, they all have got so many police officers with them. So I think you should change. Go to Faisal Wavda of yours. You go to Imran Khan, he's having 20 police officers.
I need to close.
We've got 50 candidates.
30 seconds.
We had 50 candidates in Karachi.
30-second closure. I need to move.
Okay, my 30-second closure is, sir, with all due respect, we are willing, I in my personal capacity am willing to work in Karachi as a citizen of Pakistan, as a citizen of Karachi. If there are people who have the authority, who are willing to bring in people for the change, we will work with them.
Be quiet.
I'm kind of lost right now because I don't know, like I'm not getting the kind of answers I'm looking for. Like they're all doing blame games, so and there's a new government, so I'm not very much hopeful about what's going to happen next. I'm seeing the same thing that happened in the past 5 years.
Bite your tongue.
For now, it's the same puppets and the same puppeteers. Let's hope for the change. I mean, you see, PTI feels very good that they got huge vote in Karachi. Was it actually for PTI? We need to understand that. Or it was a vote for the change. You think?
It was for them or against them.
Right.
Samra, closing note.
Well, frankly speaking, like I said, go back, do a focus group, do something for us, the people. Like seriously,
Change
you
the
want,
music.
yeah, change the music, change the tone, understand your market. Like anything else, if you need like help from the people, take it.
And we are there as well.
Yeah,
And we are there.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you all of you for taking time out.
future.
I, for one, I've never been more hopeful for Pakistan. And the reason is, I know that 3 provinces, I'm not excluding Balochistan or Gilgit-Baltistan, but these 3 provinces are in control of 3 major, top 3 parties. They will be competing so big, it's going to be such fun for the people of Pakistan. Secondly, people and the tongues have been unleashed. There's poison out there. I will have to beep out what Fahim said, what Bilawal was saying, Samra is saying. Politicians now realize the game has changed. And that is the game changer, which gives me great belief in Pakistan, all provinces, and inshallah, we will rise and shine, and this is our 5 years, and the world will see it. Good night.